Hello and welcome back once again to Belmont Bunch today as we go through the first round of the playoffs and we talk about where I was wrong and where I was right. So let's get right into it on Belmont Bunch. So let's start in the East this time. I think we started in the West last time. We got Montreal, Philly. I think Urinating Tree said it the best when he was talking about Montreal, we like to make fun of the teams that get eliminated. Montreal gets none of that from me. They deserve no crap from anyone. They played a great series, a team playing for their coach who had a minor heart attack at the beginning of the series. I hesitate to say attack because we don't know exactly what it was. A heart event. I'm not a doctor. Montreal played their hearts out. They were a little bit shorthanded, but they fully earned the respect of the hockey world in a 6-game defeat to Philly. And in Game 6, they actually really badly outshot Philly, so it could have gone 7, who knows. But that check plus is because I got it right to the game, and I would like to thank Carter Hart for that because he was fantastic in that final game, and even though Montreal maybe could have come away with that, Carter Hart made sure he didn't. Second series, Tampa Bay and Columbus. Rematch of last year's first round series. I probably should have anticipated. Columbus embarrassed Tampa Bay last year, and it was tough. My bet was kind of on maybe Tampa Bay's just mentally not strong enough to, do this. But 5 games is pretty convincing. I know you had a 5 overtime game in Game 1, and Columbus might have, felt that a little bit as the series wore on. I feel like you get extra pep in your step when you win games like that. When you lose those are draining. And I think Columbus just struggled in the series because Vasilevsky played well. Tampa Bay played all around a better brand of hockey than they did in last year's series. Braden Point was fantastic. Nikita Kucherov was pretty good. Hedman played fairly well for a guy that was playing absolutely hurt. And Vasilevsky was great. And I think that's the difference. Vasilevsky last year couldn't make the stop when they needed it. This year he could. Columbus, not a team that gets a lot of goals, but I think Tortorella got everything out of this team that you could. Tampa Bay was the better team. The better team won the series. And, good on Columbus for forcing a few OTs. But in the offseason, if Columbus can go out and get some goal scorers to add into their fantastic system that they have, they're going to be dangerous. So I'm not going to give that much grief to Columbus either. Now I'm going to give grief to Washington, who I had the Islanders winning the series. Like I said, not just because I am a fan of the Islanders, but because they were better. And I saw the regular season games, and they were wacky. But the Islanders, who were not a good goal-scoring team, were able to finish against Washington. And Washington showed their leakiness in defense and in goal again and again and again in this series. And, if the Islanders had any semblance of a power play, this is a sweep. So Washington fires their coach. The Islanders have now gotten a GM and a coach fired in their first 2 series of the postseason. Watch out, Philly. But yeah, Islanders easily the better team. And this is one of those upsets for me that was really easy to pick. And maybe that's just because I know these 2 teams very well. But, Washington, not good enough. They're going to get one of the big 3 coaches on the market in the offseason. We'll see how it changes. Boston, Carolina. Another chance for revenge. This one not finished or really even started. Carolina wins Game 1 of the series, and you're kind of thinking, there we go. Boston looked bad in the qualifying round, and Carolina's been exciting. They ran the Rangers out of the building in their series, and just goes to show, first of all, that the Rangers still have a little bit of a ways to go when you see the difference, that the different level of play Boston can bring it to when they get it going. And Boston got it going fairly quickly. And they lost Tuukka Rask, and they didn't have Pasternak, and they still win the series in 5. This isn't twisting the knife. This isn't intentionally twisting the knife for my enjoyment, because I had Carolina in the Cup final, so this hurts. Carolina, this has to suck. This has to be very, very, very frustrating to get a chance at revenge right after, in the first round, you shredded the Rangers, and you win 1 game, and the other team's missing 2 of their best players. And Boston, it shows very, very good coaching, very good depth in that team. Jaro Halak played fairly well. And, that's tough to go back to the drawing board now if you're Carolina and try to figure out what happened, because Carolina, everybody wants them because, like, on paper, they're such a beautifully constructed team. They've got great defense, they've got great offense, they've got depth in both areas, and I don't know, what do you do now? But yeah, that'll be Philly, Islanders second round, Tampa Bay, Boston. I have put my picks up on Twitter. I have the Islanders in 7. I have Boston over Tampa. I forgot how many games. You can look at my Twitter for that, at Belmont Bunch. There's a plug. All right, Western Conference, Vegas. Vegas makes quick and easy work in 5 games of Chicago. They were the better team. I mean, Chicago has to be excited that they got 1 game. That's how lopsided the series was in general. And Vegas looks like a juggernaut. And, I picked them to win the Cup coming into the season. Yeah, that could look good.
Do you think Robin Lehner is happy or sad?
Robin Lehner is very, very excited to beat the team that traded him mid-season. And we had a little bit of a kerfuffle yesterday on Twitter because Robin Lehner, who's been starting, who I said should start, his numbers were better than Fleury's. And Fleury's been good in terms of he hasn't been a distraction. He hasn't, been sour about losing the starting spot. But Fleury's agent yesterday on Twitter put up a picture of Marc-Andre Fleury in the crease with a sword through him and had the coach's name, Pete DeBoer, on the sword. A little heavy-handed there. Couldn't quite understand that. What's the allegory? I don't know. I don't get it. But that's the worst thing that's happened for Vegas in these playoffs. And if that's the worst thing that's happened, they're doing fine. Also, Fleury, fire your agent, please. Colorado, Arizona. I was interested in the series because you got the ultra defensive team. Kind of a little bit of an Islanders West feel in Arizona, but they have a lot of talent up front too. So in a way, you could be like, oh, they're like the Islanders, but with more talent. And it got them nowhere. They got kind of annihilated in the series. And, for Arizona, it's if you're the fans, you're probably just like, I'm happy to be here. We beat Nashville. Colorado is a juggernaut too. But the first 2 games they were able to keep close. But I think it laid bare maybe that Arizona, it wasn't that they were a great defensive team during the regular season. So Colorado, I think they laid bare some of the issues with Arizona. First of all, Arizona's they're playmakers. Their very, very talented forwards did not show up to the series. Kessel or Hall. Hall has cost himself a lot of money in the free agent market in these playoffs. So come to the Islanders on a nice little discount. $1 million? Come on. All right, but Arizona got absolutely blown out of the water in the last 2 games of the series. I think 7-1 was the final of Game 4 or Game 5. Darcy Kemper was able to steal a game for them, but it kind of laid bare they just couldn't keep up with Colorado. A lot of teams won't be able to keep up with Colorado in terms of speed, but you got to find a way to slow them down. And the only way Arizona could slow them down at all was Darcy Kemper. And maybe that's a little bit of an older defensive core for Arizona that didn't quite have the legs that the young guys of Colorado did. But, Arizona still has, something forming there. Keller had a good playoffs. That's something important to keep an eye on. Here's the series I got wrong. Well, I got 2 wrong. Dallas over Calgary in 6. This series was, as Pete Blackburn put it, drunk. The series was drunk. Every game was like just bonkers. Dallas is not known for scoring. And then they put 7 in a row past Talbot and Rittich in Game 6. So, and we're filming this, the second round already got going, and Dallas managed to outscore Colorado in Game 1, which nobody probably would have thought would be possible. And Dallas is doing it with Anton Khudobin in net. There's the goalie depth. I think I talked about that in the regular season, how they have one of the best tandems in the league. Ben Bishop is hurt. Guess what? Anton Khudobin has been pretty good in his stead. And, Dallas, Calgary, it has to be very frustrating. They're up 2-1. They have an opportunity to go up 3-1. They're winning with less than a minute left, and Joe Pavelski scores with 11 seconds left. Dallas wins that game. Dallas does not lose another game in this series. That has to hurt for Calgary because they're so close to getting a stranglehold of the series and not quite. In the offseason, there will be a lot of questions for Calgary, probably starting with goalie and then also Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan, who have been getting a lot of heat for not stepping up in the clutch. They were missing Tkachuk too. So, deal with that as you will. But now we get to Vancouver. The Young Bucks outskating the champs. They were too fast for St. Louis. St. Louis couldn't get the goaltending they had last year. Jake Allen ended up being the better goalie in the series for St. Louis. And, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy in Jordan Binnington. Check his Twitter takes. They're pretty terrible. But, yeah, Vancouver just faster. They wanted it more. They got the goaltending. Just a little bit of everything. And, I applaud them. Very, very impressive work by Vancouver. And they're rewarded now in playing Vegas, who looked phenomenal in the first series. So we'll see how it goes. I have Vegas and Colorado advancing, so I have no upsets in that side of the bracket. But Dallas is up 1-0 on Colorado. And I had Colorado in 5, so Colorado better win the next 4 games. But that's it for now. That's our little our first round recap after our qualifying round recap. Like and subscribe below. And we'll see you again. As the Islander series goes, we have our recap videos. But we'll see you again at the end of this round for another one of these overviews. I like doing these overviews to get a little bit more of, the complete picture in place. But we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe below. And thank you for watching. Bye now.
Do you like to do the recaps, like the round recaps, to show like how easily the Islanders will win the Stanley Cup? Is that like your idea?
Oh, it's over, baby.